Okay, what do we got? Tuesday before we head out of town for a little bit. Kind of another normal update here. Today, some fun stuff. We got stickers going on. So the one at the bottom is identical to what came on this car 16 years ago. Same number, everything. I looked at some pictures I took of clients' M5s that have been in here, and then I had a few friends who have M5s send me pictures, and none of them were centered well. So now this one is perfectly centered, and it's exactly 4 inches from that center rivet. I don't know if they measured that in Germany and that equals something in millimeters or what, but that one's perfect. This one has been superseded, and this is the newer style. The newer style stickers have these stripes on them. You can't get the old one anymore. It's the same thing. It's the same data, slightly smaller shape and a little bit different presentation, and that's okay. We're never going to be able to hide the fact that this car was involved in an accident, but we can sure make it as close to original as we can. So those are in position. Then the paint code sticker, same deal, a little bit different. This is the same sticker that would have come on an F10 M5, on an F80 M3, other Silverstone 2 cars. Same paint part number, A29-7 is the paint part. Kind of a different font, a more modern font, and then the little stripes in it. Then up on the hood, we've got the Emission Sticker, same deal, a little bit newer. This one actually has a picture of the engine, so I think this one's cooler than the original one. And the Coolant Sticker, not coolant is in antifreeze, coolant is in R134A refrigerant. So those are in position. The body shop has and temporarily cannot find the latch or the handle, and then the latches that go over here, and then there's some plastic trims that pop up on here on the corner, so they're looking for those. They're in a box. I'm gonna have to go down there and show them where they are, or my dad will. So stickers on today, got the hood insulation on today. Look at that. This is the only E60 M5 now that I have ever seen that has hood insulation trim that isn't all shrunken and has its little corners sticking out of the sides looking ridiculous. This thing is nice and dark black and just perfect. It looks awesome. Then we put in new heated washer nozzles today, the new clips that screw into the chassis, plugged in the existing wiring harness. We got new little ties or little pushes that push into the chassis there. I did have to use zip ties on those because I don't want to take all the tape off this harness. That tape's a mess and you'd never get it to stick that well again. So zip ties are going to be fine. We even have a new original connector over here where it goes into the chassis. I put these windshield side trims on today. They're an interesting design. So they have these same pins underneath them that are up here under the luggage rack rails. And initially I was trying to put the clips that hold this on the trim and then line it up, and then it slides. So you line up like a little slot over the pin and then cinch it forwards, but that just was not working. So I ended up putting the clips on each one of the pins, and then you line the trim up and smack it home. So nice, perfect flush, nice black new seal in there. Oh, I love new parts. It's so satisfying. Then inside, we've got 2 fresh Alcantara A-pillars. The clips broke on the old ones, and they were a little bit faded out from the sun. So brand new Alcantara, new hardware. Usually it's this part down here that's flat. A lot of heat comes in, a lot of sunlight comes in and messes that up. So both A-pillars are new. Obviously, the dash has been replaced. The windshield is new. Airbags, obviously, are new. This shift knob is no longer available. Fun fact, they've superseded it to kind of the squared off one that came in the March 07 Plus cars. So for the early conversions, now we're going to have to retrofit newer consoles as well, which means no more traditional EDC button panel. It's going to be a lot more work. So after we installed new front struts, we had a problem with the what do they call it? The acceleration sensor front right, which I did research on according to ISTA. So it's telling me the code in ISTA and then telling me how to check it. And they say the acceleration sensor is built into the strut, and you have to check the resistance, disconnect it from the car and check the resistance in there. And everything checked out fine. So I couldn't figure out what the problem was, and I was fearing we got a bad strut and we'd have to redo all that front right suspension again, which would suck. I did more research, and these sensors down here are also called acceleration sensors. So we replaced that, new hardware, torque to spec, and that seems to have resolved that code, which is good, and was triggering an EDC warning, which I have not yet seen since that's been replaced. So some progress there. In other news, we're waiting on that bracket. I ordered one from BMW. They say it's in Germany, 4 weeks away. I canceled that. ECS Tuning says they have stock. I ordered it, already shipped. So we'll have that in a few days. And again, that's a bracket just like this guy that goes right here to facilitate fender mounting. So we're kind of hung up right now waiting on that bracket. We need to get the fender on, then we can work on the cowl and aligning panels more, and then a bumper and lights and fender liners and underbody trims, and we need to get the roof rails back, and then it's off for an alignment, and the registration's already active. We need to put the tag back on there, and then it's kind of ready to drive a little bit, which will be fun. See if anything comes up after sitting for so long. My car's out front and cleaned up. This is the 01 Silverstone. The keys are going out for repair. They're intermittent. The fuse is good. The antenna is good. The antenna amplifier is good. So we're just going to try to rebuild the keys. This one's still waiting on pickup. We got that racked today and changed the oil. Found out that the oil scavenge pump O-rings are leaking. Customer just got back to us a little bit ago and said to proceed. So that'll be tomorrow morning. Mike and Gary will change the O-rings on both scavenge pumps, clean up the pan, then refill the engine with oil. 545 took for a little drive today to get my hair cut. Felt really good. Cleared out a bunch of codes. The DME box fan we just did. The front suspension's torqued. So a couple more gremlins we're chasing on this. He wants me to keep driving it. And then the last few hours today on old King Kong. So got the exhaust back on, started it up. Clutch feels super weird. It doesn't come back out all the way. It's really, really light. So we bled it about 6 times. It does spring back a little more, though it's still super light, and it's not allowing us to put the transmission in gear, which we could do fine with the transmission on the ground. So my diagnosis is a bad slave cylinder, which may or may not be related to all these problems in the first place. So we're going to try and start with that and replace the slave cylinder, but that's going to delay us yet another week because I cannot get parts fast enough. It's Tuesday, and I've already missed the cutoff to get parts for Friday with overnight shipping. Don't ask me how that works. It's dumb. If it isn't that, we may be looking at a clutch master cylinder at the pedal or something still internally wrong with the transmission. I don't know. I'm hoping it's the slave. With that, I've got some things to order. I've got one call to make and a bunch of emails to answer. Then I'm going to head home. We're going to have pizza tonight. Might be able to watch the Lakers lose one more game. Then I got to pack, do some laundry, and get ready for tomorrow. 11:15. I'm going to start some laundry here in a minute. I've got some last minute stuff to take care of before tomorrow. I've turned into a procrastinator when it comes to packing. I used to be the guy that 3 days ahead of time started laying out the extra socks on the pants, and I just don't have time for that anymore. So now it's like, oh, my flight's in 2 hours. I should gather some things. Did get my car cleaned up today. I've built a little kit of towels that consists of 3 Uber towels, 2 window towels, then 2 wheel towels. I do the rear wheels on one towel, the front wheels on another, and then a follow around and kind of buff dry towel. So we'll get those washed, though that's a low priority. I get the garage for the next few days, which is convenient. Boy, tomorrow they're gonna work on Frank's car, the 2003 Le Mans car. We're doing kind of a normal driveline shifter rebuild on that, oil change, oil scavenge pumps, pump seals rather. So that's tomorrow. My flight is at 1:01, something like that. So I will have a little bit of time in the morning to finish packing and get things together and look at some mail. I'm gonna buy the Wi-Fi on the flights. We're going to Houston and then out to Jacksonville tomorrow. So I should be able to use 5-ish hours in the aircraft to take care of mail, to update invoices, to get some work done. Anyways, rest time. I will talk to you all tomorrow, Wednesday, I think. Good night.